Palestinians captured the ark. Now the Israelites went out to fight against the Philistines. The Israelites camped at Ebenezer, and the Philistines at Ephek. The Philistines deployed their forces to meet Israel, and as the battle spread, Israel was defeated by the Philistines, who killed about 4,000 of them on the battlefield. When the soldiers returned to camp, the elder of Israel asked, "Why did the Lord bring defeat on us today before the Philistines? Let us bring the ark of the Lord's covenant from Shiloh, so that he may go with us and save us from the hand of our enemies." So the people sent men to Shiloh. Then they brought back the ark of the covenant of our Lord Almighty, who is enthroned between the cherubim. And Eli's two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of God. When the ark of the Lord covenant came into the camp, all Israelites saw a great shout that the ground shook. Hearing the uproar, the Philistines asked, "What's all this shouting in the Hebrew camp?" When they learned that the ark of the Lord had come into the camp, the Philistines were afraid. "Oh, God has come into the camp," they said. "Oh no, nothing like this has happened before. We were doomed. God, who struck the Egyptians with all kinds of plague in the wilderness. Be strong, Philistines, be men, or you will be subject to the Hebrews, as they have been to you. Be men and fight." So the Philistines fought, and the Israelites were defeated, and every man fled to his tent. The slaughter was very great. Israel lost 30,000 foot soldiers. The ark of God was captured, and Eli's two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, died. Death of Eli. The same day, a Benjaminite ran from the battle line and went to Shiloh with his clothes torn and dust on his head. When he arrived, there was Eli sitting on his chair by the side of the Lord, watching because his heart was fearing over the ark of God. When the man entered the town and told what had happened, the whole town sat up and cried. Eli heard the outcry and asked, "What is the meaning of this uproar?" The man hurried over to Eli, who was 98 years old and whose eye had failed so that he could not see. He told Eli, "I have just come from the battle line. I fled from it this very day." He asked, "What happened, my son?" The man who brought the news replied, "Saul fled over the Palestine, and the army has spread heavy losses. Also, your two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of God has been captured. When he mentioned the ark of God, Eli fell backward off his chair by the side of the gate. His neck was broken and he died, for he was an old man and he was very heavy. He had led Israel 40 years. His daughter-in-law, the wife of Phinehas, was pregnant and near the time of delivery. When she heard the news, the ark of God had been captured, and that her father-in-law and her husband were dead. She went into labor and gave birth, but was overcome by her labor pains. As she was dying, a woman attending her said, "Don't despair. You have given birth to a son." But she did not respond or pay any attention. She named the boy Ichad, but saying, "The glory has departed from Israel," because of the capture of the ark of God and the death of her father-in-law and her husband. She said, "The glory has departed from Israel, for the ark of God has been captured." Ark in Ashdod. And Ekron. After the Philistines had captured the ark of God, they took it from Ebenezer to Ashdod. Then they carried the ark into Dagon's temple and set it inside Dagon. When the people of Ashdod rose early the next morning to say there was Dagon fallen on his face on the ground before the ark of the Lord. They took Dagon and put him back in his place. But the following morning, when they rose, there was Dagon fallen on his face on the ground before the ark of the Lord. His head and hands has been broken off and lying on the threshold. Only his body remained. That is why to this day neither the priest Dagon nor any others who enter Dagon's temple at Ashdod step on the threshold. The Lord's hand was heavy on the people of Ashdod and its vicinity. He brought the devastations on them and afflicted them with tumors. When the people of Ashdod saw what was happening, they said, "The ark of the Lord, of God of Israel, must not stay here with us, because his hand is very on us, on Dagon our God." So that called together all the ruler of the Palestines and asked them, "What shall we do?" with the ark of the God of Israel? They answered, Have the ark of the God of Israel moved us? So they moved the ark of the God of Israel. But after they had moved it, the Lord's hand was against the city, throwing it into the great valley. He affected the people of the city, both young and old, with an outbreak of tumors. So they sent the ark of the God to Ekron. As the ark of God was entering Ekron, the people of Ekron cried out, They have brought the ark of the God of Israel around to us to kill us and our people. So they called together all the rulers of the Philistines and said, Send the ark to the God of Israel away. Let it go back in its one place, or it will kill us and our people. For death had filled the city with panic. God's hand was very heavy on it. Those who did not die were affected with tumors, and the outcry of the city went up to heaven. The ark returned to Israel, and the ark of Israel had been in Palestine's territory 7 months. The Philistines called for the priests and the diviners and said, What shall we do with the ark of the Lord? Tell us how we should send it back to its place. They answered, If you return the ark of the God of Israel, do not send it back to him without the gift. By all means send the guilt offering to him. Then you will be healed, and you will know why his hand has not been lifted from you. The Philistines asked, What guilt offering should we send to him? They replied, 5 cords tumor and 5 cords red, according to the number of the Philistine rulers, because the same plague has struck both you and your rulers. Make a model of the tumors and the rats that are destroying the country, and give glory to Israel's God. Perhaps he will lift his hands from you and your gods, and you and who do you harden your hearts, as the Egyptians and Pharaoh did when Israel's God defeated partially with 10. Did they not send the Israelites out so they could go on their way? Now then, get a new cart ready with 2 cows that have calved and have never been yoked. Hitch the cows to the cart, but take their calves away and fan them up. Take the ark of the Lord and put it on the cart, and in a chest beside it put the gold object you are sending back to him as a guilt offering. Send it on its way, but keep watching it. If it goes up to its own territory toward Beth Shemesh, then the Lord has brought this great disaster on us. But if it does not, then we will know that it was not his hand that struck us, but that it happened to us by chance. So they did this. They took a cow and hitched them to the cart and fanned out their corpses. They placed the ark of the Lord on the cart, and along with in the whole chest containing the cold rest and the waters of the tumors. Then the cow went straight up toward Beth Shemesh, keeping on the road and following all the way. They did not turn to the right or to the left. The ruler of the Philistines followed them as far as the border of Beth Shemesh. Now the people of Beth Shemesh were harvesting their wheat in the valley, and when they looked up and saw the ark, they rejoiced at the sight. The cart came to the field of Joshua of Beth Shemesh, and there it stopped beside a large rock. The people chopped up the wood of the cart and sacrificed the cow as a burnt offering to the Lord. The Levites took down the ark of the Lord, together with the chest containing the burnt objects, and placed them on the large rock. On that day, the people of Beth Shemesh offered burnt offering and made sacrifice to the Lord. The 5 rulers of the Philistines saw all this, and then returned that same day of Ekron. These are the cold tumors the Philistines sent as a guilt offering to the Lord. One each of Ashdod, Gaza, Ashkelon, Gaza, and Ekron, and the number of the cold red was according to the number of Philistine towns belonging to the 5 rulers. The fortified towns with their country villages, the large rock on which the Levites set the ark, the Lord is witness to this day in the field of Joshua of Beth Shemesh. But God struck down some of the inhabitants of Beth Shemesh, putting 70 of them to death because they walked into the ark of the Lord. The people mourned because of heavy blows the Lord had defeated them. And the people of Beth Shemesh asked, who can stand in the presence of the Lord, this holy God, whom will the ark to go up from there? Then they sent messengers to the people of Kiriath Jearim, saying, the Philistines have returned the ark of the Lord, come down.